Hi guys, it's Tuesday, September 16th. I got the date right this time. If you just happen to stumble upon my videos, my name's Michelle and I have breast cancer. I was diagnosed in August, I believe it was, and I had a lumpectomy on September 5th. And the type of breast cancer that I have is estrogen, progesterone positive, and HER2 positive. So I did all the preliminary testing, the genetic marker testing, an MRI to see what else was in there, and all of that came back pretty positive. My initial diagnosis was a 7 millimeter lump, so that's about a quarter of an inch lump. None of the tests saw anything else. On the sonogram, it just saw the one shadow. The mammogram didn't show anything. So we went ahead and did the lumpectomy to remove that and the tissue surrounding it. And normal process is to also remove a lymph node to see if the cancer potentially has spread to anywhere else in the body. And then from there, whatever's removed from the body, the tissue is tested, the lymph node is tested to see what else is in there, if anything. So like I said, I had my lumpectomy on September 5th. We also did a little bit of plastic surgery to reconstruct, because to match the left breast with the right breast where the lump was, to keep the size consistent. So there was tissue removed from both areas. Everything that was removed was tested. The left breast came back clean. No signs of anything in the left breast. The right breast came back with a significantly larger main mass than what was initially identified. It was initially, as I said, 7 millimeters, which is about a quarter of an inch. It turned out that the main one was actually 31 millimeters, which is 3.1 centimeters. That's about an inch and a quarter. In addition to that, there were two other what's called satellite tumors around that one. One was about 8 millimeters, which is what we thought the original one was, and the other one was about 2 millimeters. And then also in the lymph node, one of the lymph nodes that was removed did test positive also for cancer cells. So all that being said, I needed to see an oncologist for further study. And I did that today. So I met with the oncologist. I was there for over 2 hours, and we went over every single thing that needs to be done to treat the specific type of cancer that I have. The progesterone positive, estrogen positive, and HER2 positive cancer. In a woman my age, I'm 52. I also have family history of breast cancer. My mother had breast cancer when she was younger. My maternal grandmother had breast cancer. So I'm already high risk to begin with. And the part that's concerning to everyone, and me as well when I first heard this, was, well, why, if every scan, the sonogram, the MRI, every test came back and showed one mass that was about 7 millimeters, why then was it actually 3 and the main one was 31 millimeters? So something was hidden, something was hiding it, something was disguising it. We don't really know what. But it makes it a little bit disconcerting, because now it's like, well, what else is in there? What else is going on? Because it's in the lymph node. Has it gotten anywhere else in my body? What is going on that we're just not seeing? So I have to go for a PET scan, which will scan my entire body for cancer cells, if that's approved by the insurance company. If that's not approved, then the alternate is to do a CAT scan and a bone scan. And the doctors assure me that whether we do a PET scan or the CAT scan bone scan combo, both are both just as accurate. The difference being that with the PET scan, it's one scan, it's done, it's the whole body. The other one, that it's the two different scans that have to be done. But they both assure me that whichever way we go, we're going to have the same type of accuracy. So we have to determine if there's cancer anyplace else in my body. So I have to do the PET scan. Also have to do an EKG, because I will be starting chemo. considering that everything else, the progression of everything else with the PET scan done or the other scans done, and then the EKG done, I'm looking at potentially starting chemo in the beginning of October. So really just a few weeks away, which I was really hoping to not have to do chemo, but unfortunately it is what it is. And I've been really pretty positive about this whole experience because I know that there's treatments, and I do still know that there's treatments, and I am still pretty positive, but this has really, this has shaken me, as I'm sure it would anybody. But I will get through this with as much positivity as I can muster on a daily basis, and with the love and support of people around me. It's not going to be easy. It's going to be a long journey. It's going to be a very, very long journey because I'm looking at altogether a treatment plan of a year, of a full solid year, where 6 months of chemo and 6 months of targeted medications. So the chemo is, they call it a backbone. I guess that's just to support everything else, to make sure that nothing else is going on in my body, that any sort of cancer or potential cancer cells are killed. But then the targeted medication, targeted treatment is specifically in relation to the HER2 positive cells that I had in my breast, which I had to look it up because I wasn't really sure. I've heard that term before, but I just looked it up. And so when you have HER2 positive genes, I'm just going to read right from the website. HER2 genes change, breast cells with a HER2 gene changes pumped out proteins that accelerate the growth and spread of cancer. So what that means, I read a bunch else on the website. I'm not going to dull you with all of it, but it's when you have HER2 positive, it means that it can be a more aggressive form of cancer. So where you can't take any chances. So the targeted treatment goes specifically towards that type of cell. So I'm looking at 6 months of chemo with specifically, I'll be on Taxotere and Garboplatin. That's for 6 months. It's once every 3 weeks. And in addition to that, for the first 6 months, I'll also have these targeted treatments, which for the HER2 positive, which is Herceptin and Perjeta. Sounds pretty. Sounds like a lovely name. But that all 4 of those will be once every 3 weeks for 6 months. And then after the 6 month period is over, the chemo medicine stops, but the targeted medicine continues on for another 6 months. So like I said, it's a full year of treatment once every 3 weeks. And once I'm there it's all through infusion. I go to a facility. I'll be getting a port put in because I'll be there for about 4 hours with this treatment. And there are numerous side effects, potential side effects. Nausea, I think everybody's heard of that for chemo. Nausea, vomiting, hair loss, we've all heard of that. Possible constipation, possible diarrhea. Could be one, could be the other, who knows. As I was chatting with my brother earlier, I'm like, it's a literal crapshoot. He goes, or not. So, yeah. Fatigue, confusion. So like what's called chemo brain. I'm like, great. On top of perimenopause, menopause brain, I'm going to have chemo brain. So wonderful. Don't be surprised if I get my name and I forget to record, because I'm sure it could happen. So I'll also be getting anti-nausea medication, and I'll be getting dexamethasone. Oh, that's a steroid. So that's a steroid that I'll be doing the day before treatment, the day of treatment, and then the day after treatment. That helps the body process all of these other things and helps protect certain elements in the body from the chemo. So yeah. So today was a big day. A lot of information. Lots and lots of information. Oh, there is also something called a cool cap that I could do as well, that when I do the treatment on that same day, once the 4 hours treatment is over, then I could do this cool cap that you put on your head for, it's really another hour and a half to 2 hours, that literally just cools the follicles and prevents the hair from falling out. Apparently it's incredibly successful for blondes, which yay. However, it's not covered by insurance, so I have to decide if it's going to be a cost that I want to do. And of course, there's not, statistically, I may not lose my hair. I may not. I don't know. I have to weigh that. I have to weigh that option, and go forward from there. So today was a big day, and just gonna have to take it day by day, see where everything goes moving forward. All right. So once again, thank you for watching. Thank you for your support. If you have any questions or anything, if there's something that I haven't explained well enough and you want me to try and explain it better, I can do that. Or I'll try to do that. Leave a comment and I'll try to catch it in the next video. All right. Take care of yourselves, guys, and don't forget to get your mammograms. Go for your sonograms. Just do it. All right. Take care. Bye.